Welcome to Shomach Shov on the Daf Shir sponsor Lui Nishvas Am Yakushalom Le'Abbas Yitzchok. We're holding in Shavuos Daf Yutes. The Gemara in the beginning of Amud Aleph brings the opinion of Rabbi Yochanan that says that Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Akiva in the Mishnah are not arguing. It's only Mashmos Dor Shvi Kibnah. They only have different sources. And the Gemara brings that Rav Sheshes was Maklif to Rabbi Eliezer Rabbi Akiva for the Rabbi Akiva Rabbi Eliezer. He changed who says what because there's no difference between the opinions of Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Akiva. So Rabbi Eliezer said he said the name of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva said he said the name of Rabbi Eliezer. Now then, before she point out that there is a big Indian, as we know from the Gemara and Megillah, that a person should say something Beshem Omro, the name of the one who said it. And the Sefer Chassidim brings in Siman Pavkuf Pevov that if a father told a son to say that he wrote a sefer, so people will say Zichroinu Livrocha on him, the son should not say that his father wrote it, because he brings the Sifri. The Sifri says, Lo sasi gvul rehecho shegovlu harishonim. It's a lav, masi gvul, is not to say something in the name of somebody else. And the Sifri continues to say, not to be machlif divrei Rabbi Eliezer b'divrei Rabbi Yeshua, v'divrei Rabbi Yeshua b'divrei Rabbi Eliezer. And this halach is also brought down in the Mogen Avram and Siman Kuf Nun Vov. It doesn't say the whole thing of Sefer Chassidim, but he brings the idea that called Shein Omer Dov Shamamroi Oiver Belav. It doesn't say what the source is. So the mitzvah that over here in our Gemara says that the Mogen Avram is based on the Sifri, the same Sifri the Sefer Chassidim brings. So ask the mitzvah son. So why here in our Gemara, Rav Sheshes is quoting, is changing the quote. He says what Rabbi Eliezer said name of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva said name of Rabbi Eliezer. L'chura, it's against that medrash. So it says the mitzvah is not so hard. If you look at the Sifri carefully, the Sifri says you're not allowed to change Rabbi Yeshua to Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Eliezer to Rabbi Yeshua, and lo yimar al tor tomeh ve'al tomeh tor, and to say something which is tomeh, to say tor, and the opposite. So the mitzvah is medayek from the Sifri. The when can't you change it? The mandomarim if there's going to be enough kamina. If you're going to say the opposite opinion. You're going to say the one says Tommy when he actually says Tar, and you say one says Tar when he actually says Tommy. And as Uvid Margolius who's marich in this in his Sefer Shem Oilam in the Akdom and Perek Beis, and he brings there that sometimes we paskan halacha. How do we paskan halacha? Based on rules. Bisil b'chamay halacha ke bisil. Right? Rabbi Yudah and Rameh halacha ke Rabbi Yudah. So if you change it, you may change the halacha. Then you're not allowed to change it. But it says the mitzvah son, if there's no enough kamina la halacha, you could change. That's the pshat in our Gemara. The problem is that this is the Sifri. The Rekiv Eger on Shulchan Aruch says that the source of the Mogen Avram is not the Sifri. Is the Tanchumo in Parshas Bamidbar, Parsha of Beis. And there Tanchumo seems to say that you always have to quote the correct Mandomar. Because the Medrash says, Omar Chizki, Omar Yimar Ba'abo, B'shur Rabbi Yochanan, Kol she'eino Yimar Dover Shem Omroi. Someone does not say something in the name of the one who said it. They'll have a cost of Oymer al Tigzol Dal Kidalhu. A different pasuk than the Sifri, but another lav. And continues the Medrash and says, Tzorech Odom Kishu Shemei Adova Lo Yimar Oisoi B'Shem Omroi. You have to say the name of the one who said it. Afilu Mishlishi Shel Halacha. Meaning you have to quote the entire list of people you heard it from. He says, Shona Riseinu, Amor Nachum, Halavlo, Mikubal, Ani Rabbi Shayo, Shekibel Me'aviv, Shekibel Mezugoy, Shekiblu Menenevim, Halacha Moshe Sinai. He could just say Halacha Moshe Sinai. Why does he bring the entire list? Because you want to say Dor B'Shem Omroi. And the Medrash concludes that sentence by saying, V'kol Mishein Omer Dor Shalom Torah B'Shem Omroi, Halav Kosav Omer Tigzol Kedalu. It's the same answer if he doesn't say B'Shem Omroi. So the Medrash Tanchuma L'chura sounds not like the mitzvah and explained in the Sifri. This is even if there's no enough kamina in halacha, you're not allowed to say the name of somebody else. So the Torah Tamimo in the Varim Perek Tes He'oro Lamed, and very similarly says Reuven Margolios there in Shem Oilam. They say, look at the Yerushalmi in Shabbos Perek Aleph Halacha Beis. There it says that Rav Sheshes was Saginar, which means he was blind. When a person is saying Dvar Torah in the name of somebody else, he has to be seeing the person in front of his eyes. Someone who's blind cannot see the person in front of his eyes, and therefore is not so reliable. And the Gemara says over there, "Domar zeir leis onon tzrichim chashoshim l'shmuosi de Sheshes to gavro mefatcho." You don't listen to Sheshes because he's blind, so he can't rely on the shmuos. So the Torah Tmima says that the Sifri, the learns from a pasuk min haTorah, loisasi gvul. That's when you're coming to change the halacha, like the mitzvah says. If you have enough kamina halacha, you're not allowed to change it and try to say that someone said the opposite of what he thinks or something that will make enough kamina halacha. But if there's no enough kamina halacha, you don't have the Yisur of lo yisasik gvul, but it's still a big milo, like the Tanchuma says, like it comes up from the Yerushalmi, to say in the name, right, Beshem Omro. And Rav Sheshes, who's blind, he didn't have that clarity, and therefore he made that mistake. He didn't know Iver Yisur of lo yisasik gvul, but he didn't have the milo of Omro Dova Beshem Omro. Anyone who wants to join the Shomachshava email list, so what's a go, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.